Is everybody ready? Oh, she just barfed.
We're back, baby.
Alright. Nice and clean now. Can you say hi, YouTube? There's George. This little baby. No picking noses, please.
Scratching my face.
You're not allowed to pick your nose on
I
camera.
was going like that.
Okay. This little baby is 2 months old and we're going to tell you all about our birth story. So I've obviously done my birth story on TikTok and Instagram, but we've never done one on YouTube. So we're going to do a big version basically, because last time I had to edit it from like 40 minutes down to 11. So this is going to be the full version. Where do we start? So somebody actually asked me, can you please explain Remy's birth before you explain this birth to compare the two? With Remy, I was 12 days overdue and I lost my mucus plug on Sunday. I think it was like in the morning, and I remember thinking like, oh my goodness, like is something happening? And then I went out for lunch with my friend. I got to the hospital on Monday night at about like 7 p.m. I think it was, after Matty's work. I had an epidural at 7 centimeters, so I was petrified, absolutely petrified of actually the pushing part. And my recovery with Remy, that's why I didn't want to be in the hospital again, because I basically had to stay alone by myself without Matty or anybody, obviously. And it was just like super tough, especially as a first time mum. I just didn't know what was happening. Obviously like breastfeeding, I was exhausted because I basically didn't sleep since Saturday night. Okay, so basically long story short, I lost my mucus plug on Sunday with Remy and I never gave birth to her until Tuesday. So Romy Roo was born on 11th of May this year. She was born on this bed and we did not plan a home birth, so it was all unexpected. Where do we even start?
12:44.
So I lost my mucus plug on the 11th of May with Romy at 12:44, and I actually opened up you need a little burpee. So yeah, I actually put everything in my notes because I was just like, oh my goodness, like everybody was asleep. So I tried not to get overexcited, and this was a day before my due date. So once again, I was like, nah, like surely it's not happening, because with Remy, I was 12 days overdue. So I put in my notes, 12:44 on the 11th of May, lost my mucus plug, ha ha ha. This is exactly what I've put down. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm a bit scared. My hair is greasy, so I'm going to wash it. I'm scared. This is exactly what I done. And then at 1:20 a.m, heatless curls are in, took paracetamol. When the pains come, I'm sore, but otherwise I'm okay. So I think this is where like my contractions started, because I've actually timed them all. You know, like the app where you time all your contractions. And I also did take a picture of my mucus plug because I was like, am I imagining things? Like I didn't even go to sleep that day. Everybody was asleep, but I was just suffering with pregnancy insomnia, so I couldn't sleep at all. And then I went to the bathroom on my way to bed, and that's when I lost my mucus plug. And yeah, I took a picture of it because I wanted to show it to Matty in the morning, because I was like, surely I'm not like just seeing things, because it looked exactly the same as the one with Remy. Sorry, this is like gross. But anyway, so at 3:25, are your contractions? Bless you. Every 5 to 3 minutes, painful when happening. I need to pause, if that makes sense. I couldn't sleep, so I've run the bath. Before that, I put some peppermint oil with moisturiser on my back to help the pain a bit. Now in the bath and I feel good here, I put music on and started adding songs to my labour playlist. Yeah, this was Saturday, and on Friday I basically cleaned the whole car and I hoovered it and stuff like that. So I thought my sore back was from that, not from because I was in labour. People are asking me like, how did you not know you were in labour? And I just thought it would just take a few days, you know? That's what happened with Remy, and I was just comparing everything to Remy. So this was, yeah, 3:25. I was in the bath and I took paracetamol, so that was like the only pain relief I was having. 4:14 a.m, put the TENS machine on. Still scared, but I think it's not a drill, she's coming. Contractions slowed down in the bath for sure. I'm currently on my knees hugging my pregnancy ball. So I put the TENS machine on because I was like, these just feel like a really strong period pain. So let's try and, you know, soothe that. I've never used that before, so it really helped. But yeah, I put it on and that was at 4:14 a.m. and I remember thinking like, okay, like this is I think something's happening. But once again, I didn't want to like wake up Matty, and obviously Remy was sleeping, so I just wanted them to get a good rest, because I was like, if tomorrow is the day, we obviously all need to be refreshed, especially Matty if he's going to be looking after, well, Remy or whatever. And then my last entry is at 5:45. I'm struggling, so tired, because the contractions were quite intense. They were lasting about a minute. But it's funny with contractions, like once they're gone, you're fine. Like you can move around normally, but once they're there, like they're really painful. But for me, contractions were definitely the worst part. So yes, this was 5:45, and at 6 in the morning, that's when I came through here, and I said to Matty, I think you need to wake up Remy, because I think something's happening. So that's what he done. Remy was away by like 6:20 or 6:15. And then he jumped in the shower, and I was just, you know, chilling here in labor. But I was fine. Like I said to him, I was like, I don't think I can do this, because I really didn't want to go to the hospital. I don't know how much you know if you're new here or not, but basically my mom's got stage 4 cancer, so she spent most of her time in the hospital last year and this year. So hospitals are just not a very nice place for me, because every time I drive to the hospital, I just feel really anxious. So that's why we obviously visited Inverurie maternity led unit, which is basically a spa compared to Aberdeen.
And it had the birthing.
Yeah, and it had the birthing pool, because I originally thought I wanted to birth in the pool. Yeah, that's where we wanted to go, but it's about a 20-minute drive from us, and because it's not like a big place, it was still closed, and it was only like people on call. So I said to Matty when I came to see him, I was like, I really don't know what I should do, because this is like my limit. I don't think I can go any further. But I was speaking to him like I'm speaking to you now, and he just didn't believe me that I was in labor, basically, because he was just like, you were just so calm. I said to him, I was like, I don't know if I can do this without the epidural. And he said, you'll be fine. I can't even remember what you said, but basically what you said just gave me so much more motivation. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. So then I went to the bathroom, and I remember being on like all fours. And actually, when I was in the bathroom, your mom was here picking up Remy, because I didn't want anyone to see me yet. And I remember that's when the contractions, so this was at 6 in the morning, like 6:30, 6:15, whatever. And that's when the contractions changed from being painful to like my body just pushing. And I didn't even know, like it didn't register that I was giving birth, because I never experienced that feeling with Remy, because obviously I had an epidural. But I remember overhearing from the bathroom Matty's mum asking Matty, saying like, do you think she's in labour? And Matty was like,
I said, yeah, it's early doors.
But yeah, so that was that. And then once they left, I came through back here, and the whole time I was on all fours. So I think that's why she had so much room to like move down quickly, and that was just the most comfortable position for me.
We phoned.
Yes, so yeah, I remember in the bathroom.
We phoned Inverurie. Well, yeah, we phoned Inverurie, and then it must have been about 6:30, but the lady said that they're on call, and it would have taken her an hour to get there. Can you hold off till 8 o'clock? And I was like, yeah, be fine. We'll hold off till 8 o'clock. But then that's when you came. You said, no, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
And then you came back through here.
Yeah, I came back through here, and that was the first time I felt like I needed to lie down. So I laid down where Matty sit, like on my side, and I just got this overwhelming feeling of like being super cold, like the shivers. By the way, the same thing happened with Remy before I gave birth, and like shakes and stuff. So I covered myself in the duvet, and then Matty came through after a shower, you know, ready to go. He just kind of looked at me.
I said, are you okay?
Yeah, and I just kind of like looked at you. I remember just like looking at you, but
you looked like you were.
But I wasn't sore. I was just like,
room.
I think I was just trying to figure out what was actually happening to me.
Because the lady on the phone said she needs to eat something, needs to keep drinking.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, I'm going to the shop to get you some eat, something to drink. What would you like? And you didn't respond.
Yeah, I remember just looking at you for about 10 minutes, just looking at you, but I was like kind of looking through you. Yeah.
Definitely weren't in the room.
Yeah, so I remember after like 15 minutes of just staring at me, you just probably got fed up, and you were like, right, I'm gonna go to the shop and get something to eat. And I remember you were literally just like stood there. That's where our door is, go outside the bedroom. And I said to you, I was like, Matty, like I need to push. I love how we're like filming this now, but obviously the last time we filmed it was so fresh.
A bit more emotional.
Yeah, and this time it's funny, isn't it?
A little bit.
Because when you think back, like, I can't actually believe this happened.
Yeah. The last time you were reading through those notes,
and I was like crying. Yeah. Yeah, so I was lying on my side there, covered in the duvet, and I said to Matty, I was like, I need to push. So he came over, kind of just like, what?
Show me. What do you mean you need
And
to push?
he lifted up the covers, and well, what did you see?
The only way I could describe it was like a bit of the head, but it was like obviously like grey because
Something to do with oxygen.
yeah. Anyway, it was just you know, the only way I could describe it looked like what I would describe like an alien, like a little bit of a head, and then I was like, oh my god, it's there, it's a head. I was pointing at it, and I was like, oh my god.
But did you not say it like came out and then it went back in?
So as soon as I seen the head, I grabbed my phone and I phoned 999. She was asking me the address, and I said, my partner's giving birth like right now. I was like, send somebody, and she was like, okay, so first of all, you need to do this, and you need to do that. I was like, no, you're not listening. I was like, it's happening now. Can you send somebody? And then she went, oh yeah, I already did that like 5 minutes ago, but you need to listen. I was like, okay.
So by the way, this was at 7:05. I literally just woke Matty up at 6.
Pushed, and the head came out a little bit, but then I was like, this is weird because your waters hadn't broke.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that to the lady on the phone, your waters just broke everywhere.
I remember that feeling.
And I was like, oh,
so
okay.
Weird.
Yeah, you pushed, the head came half out, and then went back in. I said to the lady, oh no, it's fine, it's going back in. And then
It's
pushed
fine.
again, and then the whole head just came out, and I was like, oh my days. And I remember her saying, support the head, push on your pubic bone.
Mm-hmm.
And before I could do that, it just everything,
Yeah,
she just
the
came
body
out.
just came out.
And then I was holding her, and she said, right, just give her to mum.
Yeah,
So
I
I gave her
remember,
to
like,
you,
this is the
holding
moment
her.
I remember, like, so
And then she
vividly.
said, okay, you need 2 towels, one to clean her and then one to wrap her in. But I remember the night before I washed all the towels, so some of them were still wet, and I was like, I don't have that many towels. So she was like, okay, just grab one. So I grabbed one, and then she just kept asking me, is the baby breathing? Is she okay?
I just
yeah, is
remember
mum
being
okay?
so happy, like.
You said to me, can you pass me my phone? Because I want to see what I look like. And I was like, what? And I didn't have a clue where your phone was. And then
I
the lady
remember
asked
that.
me, she said, grab a shoelace, because I think you have to tie the cord or something.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't have a shoelace. And my wardrobe is right there. It has about at least 10 pairs of shoes in it. So there was clearly a shoelace, but I was just so panicked of what was going on.
Yeah, you literally just got up.
And I remember on the phone, she then said, once it kind of calmed down, but the ambulance wasn't here, your baby was born at 7:15
Yeah, she was
a.m.
like,
and I was
I've got
like,
goosebumps. She was like,
oh.
congratulations, your baby was born at 7:15.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remember, like, for me, oh, see, like, I'm tearing up now, when her body came out, and then when the lady said, like, oh, lift her up, like, I remember, like, we both kind of lifted her together and put her on my
because
chest.
you were just like, give it to
Yeah.
me, and you had your hands
Yeah,
down here.
and you helped me, and it was just, it's crazy because I was petrified of giving birth because of all these reasons with the hospital. I obviously said online that I was nervous, but honestly guys, like, there were some nights where I was crying myself to sleep, literally just being so upset, and yeah, my mind was just all over. Like, there was nights where I was phoning like the hospital when my mum was lying there like 1 in the morning, literally,
Just
like,
to make sure she was
yeah,
okay.
just to make sure she was okay, and
Plus the hormones.
and plus the hormones, yeah, just everything. Like, it was just crazy time. Like, looking back, honestly, like, crazy. Yeah, I just couldn't believe that we've actually done it, and she just arrived in the most perfect way. Like, I feel like someone was just like looking after us. Because it was just so amazing. It was just so beautiful. After that,
Well, the ambulance turned up.
yeah, the
But
ambulance
we
turned up.
had windows right there, so I was looking out the window for the ambulance,
Uh-huh.
and I could see it, but I could also hear it. And I was like to the lady on the phone, okay, I think they're here. And then they came in. I was also a bit hectic, and George, he could sense that it was like a bit all over the place.
Mhm.
So he started barking, and I don't think we said this before. I told you the man almost stood on George because he
Really?
was like at the door. So I pushed George into the living room, shut the door. He was barking, and they
Oh,
came in,
shit.
and then they just checked over you,
Yeah,
cut
so-
the cord. At this point,
But
I
it
wasn't.
was funny. Like, I'm sorry if you like had a traumatic birth or just didn't go according to plan. For me, like, I just remember the day being so fun and like actually like funny.
I think it was just compared. You always
Yeah,
compare
I'm
it
just
to-
comparing it to
to
Remy
Remy.
because the Remy was very clinical, like being in the hospital, and there was like a big scare basically where I thought I was gonna have to have a C-section because my body just didn't progress because of the epidural. I was just so grateful, like everything just went so well because it was just so like natural, like my body just dictated everything that was happening. I remember the paramedics came in and they actually had a student with them, and everyone was just like so happy, but I don't know, it's probably just hormones again, because once you give birth you're just on such a high, like you're just so happy. So I remember lying there, and bear in mind, like, there was blood here, and
oh, it looked like a crime scene.
yeah, so there was like loads of blood. Well, there wasn't loads of blood, but I lost a little bit of blood, obviously. I looked a mess. My heatless curls did not last. I planned on the makeup, you know, getting some nice pictures, have like a disposable camera with me. Are you alright? I basically just looked like I've just given birth. And they all came in, there were 3 of them, and I remember laughing to them. I was like, I can't believe this is it. Like, I was actually excited for gas and air, because I really enjoyed it with Remy. It just made me feel a little bit drunk. So I remember saying to them, I was like, oh, I was really excited for gas and air, but now it's all finished. They were like, do you want some? And I was like, you know what, yeah, why not? So the man was like checking over me. I think he was like the senior man, so yeah, the man was checking over my bits and stuff. But like, once you're in that moment, you don't care. Like, you're on such a high because you've just given birth. And I honestly could not believe, because when it comes to pain, I'm not a strong person when it comes to pain. Like, I can't handle pain. But what I've realised is I'm not good with pain when I don't understand it, if that makes sense. When I know it's a normal pain, then I'm okay with it. If it's that natural pain. Like, for example, my pelvis came out of alignment literally like a month ago. Honestly, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but if it has, then you know that it feels like you cannot walk. It feels like your back's gonna break. But it's a normal feeling, so that's what I mean. Like, I was panicking in my head because I thought I was gonna end up on a wheelchair because I couldn't walk. But when I phoned 111, they told me like, no, this is like a normal feeling you're gonna feel. So that's when the pain didn't change, but my mental thinking changed. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like, I'm not a strong person when it comes to pain because I just panic. But once I understand it's a normal sort of pain, then I'm fine. I don't know if that. Anyway, so yeah, they were here, they were checking over me, and I wasn't in pain, but I was still having like mild contractions, if that makes sense, because obviously my placenta didn't come out. So yeah, they came, they cut the cord.
Because I was not in any fit state to cut the cord after that. I was shaking.
Romy went straight to you, sorry. Romy went straight to Matty, and you were, I remember you were just like waddling along, but I felt fine because...
She was okay, she wasn't crying, she was a bit whingy, but she wasn't like super upset or anything.
I know.
Because she'd been on you for a while before they turned up, because they took about 6 minutes after she was born or something.
20 minutes after you phoned or something.
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes after, yeah. They asked me to get dressed because I still haven't given birth to the placenta, so they obviously wanted to take me in and the baby because she just came out so fast to make sure that we were both okay. We're on the 2nd floor, so they were like, oh, do you want a wheelchair? And I just preferred walking. I stood up and I put on my Frida Mum like disposable underwear, and then we just started walking, and
You had a dressing gown on.
Yeah, you gave me my dressing gown. My most expensive dressing gown was the Sheriff Avenue dressing gown.
You had that dressing gown, but with my tire.
Yeah, because you couldn't find the tire.
It was in the living room on the floor.
We just started making our way downstairs, and I did have gas and air with me. I think it was just more the fear. Like, I had a little bit of anxiety, like, how will this work? Because I have just given birth. I was holding the man's hand, and you were kind of like behind us, or he had me like by my arm or something. And yeah, we're on the 2nd floor, so I started walking down, and then we got down to the 1st floor, and I was like, guys, like, I remember actually like being like, guys, like, I'm sorry, but like, I need to stop. I think something's like happening. And I just felt this release of, basically what happened is my placenta just kind of dropped out of me, and they had to like pull my disposable underwear to the side, and you know, one of them like fucking, oh, that's what basically happened to the placenta. Are you alright?
Oh my god, she's looking at you like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
She's like, that's what she's like.
Placenta just fell out.
Yeah, and I honestly...
yellow bucket, it's like a, I don't know.
For just like medical stuff that they have to dispose, and they have to like lock it. So I remember you were like there, and I just looked at you like, is this actually, like, is this happening? This was obviously like 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday, no, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Praying that no one else
I
came
know,
out the
I was just like, imagine, because just get back in, it's a crime scene.
I think we were talking about that before. I would have literally said, no, please go back inside.
Yeah, I just remember looking at you like, is this actually happening? Like, we were just laughing the whole time.
I don't think we were laughing the whole time. I was definitely not laughing.
Yeah, but you were like smiling. So we were like, ha ha ha, just giving birth. But I remember just like smiling, like it was a positive, fun experience. We got down to the ambulance.
Never been in an ambulance.
Yeah, no, actually I have with
I
my
haven't.
mum. Not a fun place, but
No.
they're just very, very, very warm,
Yeah,
aren't they?
so
oh
hot.
God, so hot. So they obviously strapped me in. Matty was still holding Romy at that point, and
we double checked that she was a girl.
well, we didn't even double check. That was the first time we actually checked that she was a girl.
Yeah, but we think we were so. Everyone thought it was a boy. We thought it was going to be a boy, and then we had the scan, the gender scan, and did all that, and it was said it was a girl. So we were like, let's just check. Make sure it is
so
a
we
girl.
had a but that was the first time we checked since she was born to make sure that she was actually a little girly. Mwah. Okay, let's change your bum first, huh? Matty's just saying to me, he was like, don't forget where we are because this video, I don't know why it's taking us so long, so he's like, we're in the ambulance. You're nice and clean, you're all changed.
Fresh bum bum.
Yeah. Okay, we're in the ambulance. So that was the first time I started to breastfeed, and she latched on straight away, same as Remy. I wasn't bothered this time round. I was determined to make it work with Remy, but this time round, because first time round it was so hard on me, I was like, I'm not bothered. Like, as long as she's fed, she's gonna be happy. A fed baby is a happy baby. So, but yeah, you just did it. Yeah.
You did?
She did.
Straight away.
Yeah, and then we got to maternity hospital in Aberdeen.
It took, you know what, it felt like it took forever.
Yeah.
And it felt like they were going so slow. Normally you see an ambulance, you think they're going like super fast, but they're
no,
not. They're going
honestly,
so slow.
I was just like, I remember asking you, I was like, what way are they going?
Yeah.
Everything was fine, like I was feeling fine, I was having like mild contractions, but they weren't bad. Are you alright? Yeah, I got wheeled into the hospital, we got out.
We got to the door, and then we pressed the buzzer on the door. Nobody came.
Yeah, nobody was coming, I know. So it was taking a while.
It's like lucky you weren't like in labour at that point.
I know, I remember we were standing outside with the paramedics and we were like, well, lucky that I'm not giving birth right now because they would have missed it. I think they were expecting us, so that's why they knew it wasn't like super urgent.
Maybe.
Because surely if they knew that there was somebody actually like, do you remember? Do you remember what happened? Do you want to tell your side of the story?
And then I remember walking down the corridor of the labour ward, and like there's obviously so many of them working there, and they're all just like not staring, but like they're looking at you or looking at us like, oh, that's another baby, and then but it was just overwhelming because there's like 20 odd people just looking at you as you walk past.
My brother, I forgot to tell you this actually. One of his friends works in a hospital. He overheard somebody say to them, like, oh, did you hear about that girl that gave birth in Aberdeen, in her bed, and she didn't know she was in like labour or something. I was like, oh my god, that's like crazy. But like even people at your work, like a lady came up to you, is like, oh, you came up on my TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
It's funny, but I guess that's what happens with the internet. It just goes everywhere. 7 million people watched it.
Watch what?
A video of me explaining what happened.
Oh.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, we got into our room and that's when things got more clinical. Because I had a little bit of bleeding, I lost quite a lot of blood, so because I teared a tiny little bit. So with Remy, I had a 2nd degree tear, and oh my goodness, like my recovery took about 6 months, didn't it?
Yeah.
But this time around,
it wasn't even a degree tear.
yeah, it was just like a tiny little bit, she said. So it's not because it was sore, because they numb you. They had to put a cannula in as well because they had to give me like anti-clotting injection or something. I had to go straight into my vein. So that's why like things like that are just like not a nice thing for anybody.
That's when it got really intense.
Yeah.
She was upset.
She got a little bit upset at one point. Yeah, she was crying. I was just a little bit like freaking out. Not because I was in pain. It was more just like the idea of like, oh, like she's gonna like put needles in my,
And you did feel it a little bit.
I think.
I remember you like jumping
I was jumping because I could tell what she was doing from her body language, but I swear to you I wasn't sore, like it wasn't painful. But then you said to me, it's like, remember, if your mum can do it, so can you. And my mum, her arms were like bruised because nobody could get blood from her. She was just so ill, but she had TPN and stuff after, so she's fine now, and she had a gastric bypass so she can eat again. Anyway, long story short, that
when all this was going on, I had to sit down. I was like, oh no. So I sat on the floor with like a bucket.
I know.
And I was like,
felt
in
bad.
my head, I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, you just literally gave birth in the house,
But
and
see
then you
what I
went to
mean?
hospital,
Like-
and I can't even stand next to you while.
But this
I
is
think
the
it was
thing.
just she
it's
was
so
crying
clinical,
and,
yeah.
the
Like
needles,
in the
everything.
house, like you basically delivered the baby,
Yeah.
but it was in your own
Yeah,
house,
but
and I didn't
remember-
realize how much that actually impacts like your brain. Like
But-
I honestly didn't believe it, because even with Remy, I was like, nah, like I'd rather be in a hospital. I feel so much better. But seriously, now all my births, if we're lucky enough to have any more children, I'm gonna do a planned home birth 100%, because I loved it. Like I was petrified of the pushing part, but the contractions are the worst part. Like I woke him up an hour before she was born.
It also happened so quick though.
Yeah.
So you're saying like adrenaline took over.
Yeah.
So it happened within 5 minutes, but if it had been any complications and it had taken 20 minutes, then it might have been a different story.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
For
You
me.
would have been like freaking out more.
Yeah.
I know. I've actually got a picture of you. Literally like, I think it was like 3 minutes or 6 minutes after you've delivered the baby, and your face, like I don't think I'm gonna insert it, but I don't think I've ever seen your face like that. And that t-shirt is gonna be like, it's my favourite t-shirt
Yeah.
ever.
I was surprisingly not much on me.
Yeah, I know, you look brand new. Well, you didn't need a shower after, did
No.
you? We obviously didn't have a car seat, we didn't have our car, and we literally just packed up. Did you even take my maternity bag? Yeah, you did.
It was at the door.
Yeah. Oh
Ready
yeah,
to
so
go.
yeah. So we took like my hospital bag, because I packed one just in case. They checked over us, but we had to wait. Obviously sewed me up, and then I was able to have a shower, and then they said to us to wait 6 hours before we can leave.
They did suggest for you to stay.
Yeah, they did want me to stay, but I was like, no, like I'm sorry, like I will even sign like a piece of paper that I'm happy to go home, because A, I was like, I'm a badass, like I've literally just given birth at home, and B, I just couldn't, I knew mentally I wouldn't be able to stay in the hospital. Like even thinking about it, staying in the hospital just gives me goosebumps. I just don't like hospitals. I'm happy we've got them, but I don't like,
Oh.
alright.
It's you.
I've got it. It's okay. Oh, you're righty. I didn't want to stay in a hospital, so yeah, they suggested stay at least 6 hours, which we did.
And you got your tea and toast.
I got my tea and toast. That was amazing. Like it was perfect, because obviously I've just given birth, so I was shattered, and I just remember like it was polar opposite to what it was with Remy, because with Remy from Saturday on Tuesday I did not sleep, and then you had to leave. Like I was basically in my bed at like 5 p.m. and at 8 p.m. you had to leave, because it was still like COVID times, because she was born in August 2021, and it was my bloody birthday as well. So I was just like, girl, this is
not on.
This is nice, because you got a baby for your birthday, but yeah, it was not very, very nice. This is so much better. You know what? I'm actually going to take a picture of you, because you look so freaking cute.
We started watching a film on my phone.
Hi. Oh, I've got 600 million pictures of you, because you are so cute. Yeah, I remember starting watching that movie. I just couldn't believe that she was just so calm, and she just slept. And then you rang your mum to basically pick you up.
But she came up here and cleaned this whole
Oh
room.
yeah, so Matty's mom, bless her, she actually came up, because like our door was unlocked, like we didn't even lock the door.
I didn't take a house key.
Well, you probably weren't thinking straight, were you?
The door was shut and we left.
Yeah,
And she came up for the dog. And
yeah,
then
George needs walked and stuff, so yeah, and she cleaned. Yeah.
And she took a picture of the room.
Yeah, because she only took it, the reason she took it wasn't for like anything creepy. Yes, it's because I'm that kind of person, like when I was pushing I wanted to see the head, like I wanted to see what it was like, do you know what I mean? Like next time I'm going to pay a photographer to come to our birth.
No, it's not happening.
Jokes, I'm just going to set up my YouTube, go
Is there-
live. No, I'm
is there
joking.
a next time?
Of course there is. Daddy, we were literally discussing like names in the car the other day.
Yeah, if it's a boy we can do it next time.
We're going to have 3 girls.
No.
But girls are the best. Like they will probably hate me, but they're gonna be your little princesses. Do you know what I mean? But remember, I'm still the queen. Remember. Romy, when she was getting checked over, everything was fine. She weighed exactly the same as her big sister, but remember, her big sister was 12 days overdue, and she wasn't as long. Remy was like 57 centimeters, and she was 53, so not as long, but obviously.
We're both 7.5.
Yeah, both 7.5 pounds. But she was actually born with a club foot, which is a foot talipy, I think it's called, where one of your feet is like bent slightly to one side. But it's totally fine now. We had like a hip scan and everything, but that was the only thing that was kind of
And then her
different.
blood shed.
Oh yeah, blood shots in her eyes. But yeah, and the
There was a
pressure.
build-up of pressure.
Yeah, just like basically popped her eyes. That's what they said to us. But I was petrified because I had like a few panic attacks and stuff. Like I said, like it was crazy times before she was born. So I was blaming myself. Yeah, when I went pretty quick, but I was like, is that because I was having panic attacks? But no, they said it was due to birth. I think my mum literally got out of the hospital on the Friday and she was born on the Saturday. Or it was Friday before that. I can't remember, but the whole time, like my mum's been in hospital. So it was really tough. And then eventually we got home. I had a shower. I still need to get my disposable how much battery do we have? I still need to get my disposable camera developed because I took the disposable camera into the hospital and basically just took loads of pictures of the actual hospital and when we got home. And that night Remy did not stay with us. So it was Saturday and she just stayed with Matty's mum and dad. I personally wanted her home, but Matty said,
wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, Matty was just like, just take that day. We had so much time with Remy and this is like the first day with her by herself. So like I was on such a high. So I'm kind of glad. But you slept well. Like she's really been such a great sleeper. We still wakes up during the night, but she is really great.
Yeah. But remember, Remy was
Remy,
difficult.
yeah, Remy I would have that anxiety go into bed because she would be screaming when she woke up. But with this one, she never cries during the night, ever.
No, she doesn't cry during the night.
She never ever cries during the night, do you?
And she naps during the day.
Yeah, she's probably due a nap now, that's why this is her being cranky. But with Remy, she would have been like, Meh. So we got home and I remember got a bubble tea on the way home. I got a strawberry matcha.
Yeah, we went to that shop.
Yeah,
It was mental because we just carried on. We left the hospital and you just carried on life like nothing had just happened, but just with an extra human.
I know. I think that's what happens, like second time around. I feel like that's the experience I envisioned first time round. But first time round for us was just so tough, like on both of us.
Massive thing I remember about Remy is when I came back to the hospital and we were away to leave, and I took the car seat into the hospital to put Remy in the car seat, and we had no idea how to adjust it. We never looked at how to do it. Yeah. And then with her, we took the car seat in and I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Yeah. And it was just put it in. And
not my first rodeo.
Yeah. And it was so much easier.
Yeah. Once you get over the toddler stage, it's like, this is just easy peasy, is it?
Yeah.
It's still hard, but it's just so much easier. With Remy's name, it was always Remy Road. Always. So with this one, I love the name Luca Roo. But Matt is like, Luca's just such a boy's name. Especially in the UK, but it's not a boy's name. It's such a unisex name. So I would have loved that for her. So we kept the Roo, so her middle name's Roo. But one day I remember messaging you like, oh, what about Romy Roo? We said it to Remy once, and ever since then, the way she was saying Romy, like it was just so sweet. And then every time we asked her, I was like, what's your sister's name? And she would say Blippy, and then she would say Romy. But next time we're gonna have a home birth for sure. I just can't believe, see when I think about it, I just can't believe I woke you up an hour before I birthed a child. It's crazy, like, but it was beautiful. I wouldn't have done it any other way. She's just, like my recovery, we were literally on the plane 2 weeks after I've given birth. You okay? Yeah, recovery's just been so much easier because I feel like I was just so in tune with my body. My body just dictated every single step of the way, so...
You did crash though after...
Oh yeah,
after 5 days.
Yeah, after 5 days it was literally...
The first 5 days, like nothing happened. We carried on life, and then on the 5th day it was just like you just hit a wall and had to...
Yeah, I remember it was a family barbecue. It was the next Saturday. So it was like a week, yeah. It was a family barbecue and I was so excited to go to it. It was a family barbecue and I was so excited to go to it. But I just kept, I remember when midwife came round and I just kept feeling so like dizzy and stuff.
And we were late anyway because the midwife was here at an awkward time.
And it was such a nice day and I was just so excited to go, but yeah, I was just feeling so dizzy and I remember I cried because I had FOMO.
I think the weather being nice like the whole time from the day you give birth, like that whole week was nice. I would know because I went and played golf.
Yeah, you did. You were very lucky. Just second timers, just so much easier. I feel like our life didn't change. Like it from 0 to 1, your life changes dramatically. Like you're like, you don't know any different, do you? Second time around, because you've already got 1, you're already doing the same things with 1. And you've already done it before, and we had such a tough ride with Remy that this time around she's just easy peasy compared to the last time, you know? The only thing different for me is definitely like mum guilt, like feeling like I miss Remy because I don't get to spend as much time with her as I did obviously before she was here. But I don't get that with her because she knows, like,
yeah, but it's like the opposite for me. I obviously spend a lot of time with Remy.
Yeah.
And then her, like, I do spend time with her, but when it comes to like feeding and stuff,
yeah,
it's
you
more
spend
just...
more time with her now. Like obviously it's 2 months after I've given birth, so like I've been doing more stuff with Remy just by myself, and you've been doing more stuff with Romy, and you've been able to like put her to sleep, which is
But with Remy,
unreal.
it was just like, don't leave me, do not leave
Yeah.
me for so long.
And I pump, so you give her like a bottle, which is obviously like great as well. But you are just such a dream. Wrap it up.
I feel like we've passed the birth story now.
We're just going on about everything, just life in general, are we? Okay, right, Romy, we're gonna wrap it up.
Can you say bye to YouTube?
This is our little Romy Roo. Mwah. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching.